Hello, hi everyone. My name is Stella Waidera, and welcome to the Africa STEM Summit, Day 2. Today we are going to hear from Maven Wechuli on how to have good design practices or good design pattern practices. So, without further ado, I'm going to hand over the mic to Marvin. So, hi, Marvin.
Hi, Rivera.
Hello. You can take over, please. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for this chance to share out. My name is Maven Wechuli. I'm a full stack software developer, specialized in Python, Django, Flutter, Dart, and React. I'm here today to share with you good design practices that is in Flutter, uh, elevating user experiences in Flutter. Just to kickstart everything. So first of all, I'll start by introducing what Flutter is for you. So Flutter is generally open source UI software development kit created by Google, used for building natively compiled application that is for mobile web desktop that is in a single code base. What this means is when you write your application in Flutter, it can run in multiple devices, that is cross-platform. Then why Flutter for UI design? We said Flutter is for cross-platform development. You can write once and run anywhere. Then it provides some features for faster development, like the hot reload, hot restart feature, whereby you don't need to close and reopen, but you just continue developing your application continuously as you go on. Also, it is expressive and flexible. Its layered architecture enables full customization that results in fast rendering and expressive design. Okay, it also has a strong community and ecosystem. The importance of a community and ecosystem is that is in case of bugs. Also, if you want to learn to get more materials to learn more about Flutter. So Flutter, for as of now, it's very much developed, has a strong community and ecosystem. It also has these packages that can be used for quick and easy development. You don't have to write everything from scratch. You can get packages that is basically from pub.dev. So in our today's talk, we are going majorly to use Flutter to get the best UI practices, and we see if we can pull up something, an application, just to demo and go through. Uh, in my next slide, the importance of UI design. Why is UI design crucial for app success? So that is first question as front-end developers or front-end developers majorly ask themselves, why is UI crucial? Basically, you having a good UI is a sellout for your application in terms of the first impression, the ease of use, in terms of brand and the competitive advantage of it. So when users are that satisfied with the design, with whatever they see, it means they're probably going to be able to use your application or to get to know the idea or the idea you're trying to share, or the problem you're trying to share, the problem that you're trying to solve. I mean, sorry for that. So good UI designs gives one the ability of getting a lot of that is audience and having that competitive advantage over other applications. You may go forward. The principle of a good UI design. So a good UI design is, first of all, it's simple. Simple in terms of let's say if it is a user input, it is a user input. It's so easy for a user to know here I'm supposed to input my name rather than a password. So that is the meaning, the simplicity of bit of it all. A button is just a button. So that like if a login button and a logout button, for instance, they are so conspicuous that a user can easily identify and differentiate which is which. Consistency comes in terms of now the way you are sharing out, that is your colors. If you are having your primary colors, a consistent design is whereby if you are using blue and maybe blue and red, for instance, your app consistently uses it blue and red according to your brand color, maybe your logo, and everything else. That's when consistency comes in. Also, it comes in the way you are structuring your things. For example, we can say you are having a circular button. You're having your buttons are always circular or your buttons are always rectangular. So there's no that mix of issues of things of widgets. That is, clarity now comes in. I've already explained that initially. Clarity comes in when a user is able to clearly identify each and every piece in your application. Like, for example, you can easily see this is a button for logging in and this is a button for logout. Also, visual hierarchy. Visual hierarchy, now we are talking in terms of how you are arranging things. For example, when you're having a list of items, let's say it is an e-commerce application with products. By default, you know that when one is searching for a product, the search bar should be above the list of the product rather than in the middle or somewhere there. So another example I may say, like the normal authentication screen for users is, first of all, you start with the username, then you come to a password. So that is the visual hierarchy. When someone sees the first step, he can easily identify or predict the next step, and he can easily proceed with that next step forward and back. So that is the visual hierarchy. These are the four major principles of a good UI design. You'll bear with me. I'll be going a bit fast because I think we are having a small coding session at the end of this. So I'm trying to maximize on time so that we may also have good time over there. So we are going to be using the Flutter material design. So I saw it nice that also I may explain something small about the Flutter material design. So the material design is a design language developed by Google aimed at creating unified user experience across different platforms and devices. It also emphasizes on the core design principle, that is simplicity, clean design, and the use of grid-based layout, responsive animation, and transition. The key principle of a material design include the metaphor. It uses the concept of physical surface edges to provide visual cues and interactive experiences. It also includes the bold graphic intentional to emphasize on bold colors, large typography, and deliberate use of white space to create a clear visual hierarchy. Also, we have motion provides meaningful. That's we are talking about animations and what have you. Also, how elements interact and providing continuity and context during those transitions. Okay, so Flutter basic widgets for UI design. So allow me discuss with you the some of the basic widgets that are available in Flutter. So Flutter has two type of widgets. We have the stateful widgets and we have the stateless widget. The main difference between stateful and stateless widget is stateful widgets, they modified according to user input. So the carry home point is, that stateful widget, they are modified, they change, they are dynamic, you see. So we say like a checkbox. A checkbox, just a normal checkbox. When you check it, it's checked. You can check and uncheck. Same as a radio button and a slider. Inkwell helps you, like, to say, for example, drag to delete or drag or on tap. It has those events on tap, on drag, um, etc. Also, a form that is majorly for user input, and a text field to help us for that's the same thing for user input. So these are just some of the few examples of stateful widgets. So stateful widgets, they continue to change according to user input. Now we come to other bit, that's the stateless widget. So they deal with situations that are independent of the user input. And the only area of focus of stateless widget is the information displayed and the user interface. So stateless widgets, they usually do not change. They're independent of user action. For example, if we say we take of WhatsApp as an app, WhatsApp as an app, or Facebook, usually you see the way that screen, the way they have divided it, the way they have placed their elements, they never change. They're just there. Like you can, you can chat down there, you can select for groups maybe. So that is the stateless bit of it, that it doesn't change with your user, with any user input or any user event, that is. So examples we are having is a container. Just a container, the way you are seeing, you get the name. A container is just used for holding objects, that is. Um, Also, we have a row and a column. A row and a column is just the way it is, used to hold elements, that is horizontally, and a column is used for holding elements, that is vertically. So they are used for the horizontal and the vertical layout. Stack, it allows overlapping of widgets. That's the basic definition of it, just allowing overlapping. The best example I can use is uh, yes, it just allow overlapping of widgets. Let me just say like that. We will see practicality of it when you are going to the coding session bit of it. Also, we have a list view and a grid view. A list view you used for holding also elements, a list of elements, multiple elements. That is, it has the scrolling ability, both the list view and the grid view. The only difference between a list view and a column is list view has the scrolling ability. A column does not have that scrolling ability. And yes, so a list view generally and a grid view, they are used for holding list of elements, and they have that scrolling capability. We have an app bar. An app bar basically is just an app bar. The one, the frame that you always see at the top there, that has the navigation and the title and some actions. Then floating action bar is action button. Sorry, is a button for primary actions, typically circular or floating. So these are the basic Flutter widgets that are commonly used during the UI design. Then another thing that I wanted us also to share out is about the responsive UI design in Flutter. Uh, this is majorly designing UIs that adapt to different screen sizes and orientation. So in UI design or user, that is the front end bit of it. We You literally have to know how to adapt to different screens or devices of a user. So in majorly in Flutter, we use these media query elements, accessing the device metrics to adapt to the layout. So accessing the device metrics, this we are talking about the height of the device. We are talking also about the width of the device. So using media query, you can literally get how the full height and the full width of a device. Also use layout builder. So it builds layout based on the parent constraint. So it means that it's going to build a widget, or it's going to render a widget based on the type of device, the way the screen are. Maybe we say it is let me say it's like a smartwatch. So using a layout builder, it gets that the layout of that device and renders elements based on that layout. Then you have the flex widget. This majorly expanded is called an expanded widget. Expanded widget, this means they adapt to the spacing, they adaptive to the spacing and alignment. Just the adaptivity part of it. Let me say, for example, just me using the e-commerce. the e-commerce bit of it. We are having a list of elements in a screen. We are having the recommended, we are having maybe the recommended products and popular products. They are all in the same screen. But you see, recommended products have been given a constraint of maybe they need to take a height of maybe 50 by 40, something of that sort. So using this expanded widget, it ensures that all elements under the recommended product, they just come and adapt to that 50 by 40, but they should be all of them. You get? So this is the way they say it's flexible and adaptive to the spacing. So the spacing and the alignment that has been given. Same as aspect ratio and fitted box, they ensure that content scales correctly across, that is, the various devices. That's where you can see when you're viewing a picture on a small device and you move the same picture to a bigger device, you see that the picture or the image adjusts according to the various screens. So that is by the use of the aspect ratio and the fitted box. So I also saw it right that I give you a sample of beautiful UI design. So I don't know if I'll have to stop and share again, but uh, sorry, sorry. So looking at my screen, I tried to get a simple UI. This is from dribble.com. Here's the link. It's just a disclaimer. It's not from me. It's from dribble.com. That is. So looking at this UI, I selected this one as a beautiful UI because if you're looking at it, it carries all the core principles of a good UI. You can see we're having color consistency over here. You can see the screen is well arranged. When someone is looking at this screen, he can easily know this is for flight, this is for hotel, this is for holiday, and this is for offers. So the screen is well aligned, and we don't have that mixture of colors or anything shouting that can literally harm your eyes. So this is a sample of a good UI or good UI practices that when someone is developing ought to adapt to, so that users can have the best experience towards it. So now we are in our coding session. So as of today, we are going to create a simple uh, application. Um, we're going to create a simple application just to help us understand the how good UIs look like. So just give me a second. I'll pull up these. Okay, just a second. Oh, okay. So I think I'll have to stop and share again. Uh, oh, okay, just a second. Pulling it up. Present. Okay, I think it's not getting my screens, my window. Okay, let me just share the entire screen then. Share entire screen. Okay, so this is a simple application we are going to look at today during our implementation. So it is a simple login screen that is quite abides to what we've been talking about, the simplicity, the consistency, the color consistency, the principle of the basic UI design. So we are having just created a simple, these are two screens that is for logging in and also for signing up. So we are having these two screens that we are going to work on by the end of this session. So we should be able to create a screen that user can sign in and another one which can usually uh, sign up. So I think after that, I don't know if there will be any question. Maybe I'll be glad to jump in and answer some of your questions. So let's just start. Let me see. Let me stop sharing a bit. I open up some file. Uh, okay. I believe all you can see my screens. So I just opened my terminal. I just opened my terminal. So let me close this one. Just open my terminal. So for Flutter, for starting a Flutter, creating a Flutter application, first of all, you need to install Flutter. So I believe as all of us at this point or at this stage, we all have Flutter installed. So let me see which version I'm using. Uh, so you can see I'm using Flutter 3.19 and that 3.3. Yeah. So to start a Flutter application, just write Flutter. Uh, Flutter create. You see, then we write the Flutter application name. We say like simple login. So after you write that, you just press enter. Then the application is created. You can follow these simple commands here. You cd into the project folder, and so just to show you, I was in here. So you see it created this folder. So what I'm doing, I'm just changing the directory into this folder over here, this cd. Then I want to open my VS Code, so I usually use this shortcut. So for it to open VS Code inside that, you can use any text editor of your choice. For me, I prefer using VS Code. Uh, yes. So maybe I think it may be right for me to explain some bit of it. So today, majorly, we are going to look at UI, the UI implementation on the Flutter side. We are not going to look into the logic and everything, but it will be wise for me to explain some of the folders and the files that we are seeing on our screen right now. Okay, let me try to zoom. Try to zoom. I think good. That's good. So we are having the main folders. We are having the Android folder, So this Android folder, we said Flutter is for multi-platform. So it has all the Android configuration of the application inside here. the Android configuration from the build Gradle and everything. So this is code specifically for Android configurations. Also, this is for iOS, and also we are having for Linux, and this is for macOS. Okay, and this is for Windows, and this is for web. So Flutter can run on Windows, web, Linux, and macOS. So when you're creating a Flutter project, by default, it creates these default configurations so that when you're running on either of the platform, it can easily switch accordingly. So the main folder, our working folder, will be this lib. So this lib carries all of our main working files and our main working files. So the entry point is this main.dat file. Um, this is our main entry point. So it carries the main entry point into the application. So if we can run this, let me see. Let me run. As it's running, let me continue explaining. Starting the bug session. Good. Okay. Okay. So another main file that you are going to be using that is majorly used, we are having this pubspec.yaml file. So inside the pubspec.yaml file, what you are having is now the packages. You can add your packages. I remember I told you earlier that Flutter has a whole community for developing these packages. So you add your packages over here. You add your packages over here. And if you have any developer dependencies, also you do add them over here. And also you can add your assets. Assets, these are the files that are going to be used in your application. So let me just reduce this a bit. Okay. Yeah. So you can add your assets over here, the commented line. Forget. Okay. Over here. So what you just do, you just uncomment these lines. Then you come here, you add a folder. We just add it. We say, just add a folder called it assets. That way. Then inside these assets, inside this asset folder, you can add your images and everything else. Okay. So away with that, let's wait to see our test, our initial stream. Let me close this one. No longer need it. Okay. Let it just give it some few seconds so that you may download the files. I think my internet may be a bit slow. Let's see. Okay. So it's taking a bit long time. So let me just remove these ones, the unnecessary comments in this file as we wait for it. Oh, it's stuck at 80%. Literally don't get. I think we are all experiencing low internet here in Kenya because of the issues with the main internet transmitting cable to East Africa. So I think it is an issue that is affecting all of us, not only me. So just bear with me for now. We give it time, we see it will finish the remaining 20% without taking too much of our time. I think the reason why it's taking time because it's trying to download all the configuration of Android as I'm running on my Techno device. You can see it over here. Yeah, so it has to download all those things. Uh, so let's wait for it. Let me explain some bit of it, of this, whatever we are seeing on right? So in any Flutter application, you're having the main entry point. I said you're having the main file. So the only entry point we are having this main function over here. So these are the main functions for Flutter application. So you see this is another function, another method under the main used to run out the application. It calls this my app. So we talked about stateless and stateful widget. You see my app now is a stateless widget. We say that Flutter it has customizable widgets. So this is one of them, one of the reasons why, one of them, because this is creating you are creating your own widget that is extending the stateless Flutter stateless widget. So now, because we are talking about the material design, that's why you see we are returning a material app. So we are returning a material app. It's like we are initializing the material design bit for the whole application. So over here, then now we are giving it, this is the title of that object, Flutter demo. And also now here we are having the theme data. You can set your theme over here. These are your colors, your font types, and over here I'm telling you to use the material 3. Then now everything starts from here, my home page. So this is now the how can I say it? This is now the screen that is carrying, or the widget that's carrying now the whole implementation bit of it, the UI. So what you expect to see in this screen, you're expecting to see a text of that title, and also you're expecting to see this text in our screen. You have pushed this power button. So we are having a text. This is used to render any textual elements on your screen. Center, this is a widget, stateless widget, that's telling you it centers all the elements. Everything that you're going to add, it ensures that it is at the center of the screen. Now we are having a column. A column we are telling you is it's used to hold elements that is the vertical elements. It arranges the elements vertically in column. So we're just saying the main axis to be center also. So the main axis, we're having the main axis and the cross axis. The main axis, we are talking about from up to down, and also the cross axis is now from left to right. So when you're telling it main axis, so you're telling it element from up to down should be center, And when we add the cross axis, we'll be telling it now the elements from left to right, they should also be uh, at the center if you want to, or on the left side or on the right side. So this is the meaning of this main axis. Then a column has children. So children, these now are elements. You said columns arrange elements. It used to arrange elements that is in a column form from up to down. So this is the main bit of it. Uh, wait, this thing is taking too much time. Okay, maybe let me just stop presenting. I get it, then we stop sharing. I build it in another way, then we continue. It's taking a lot of time. So, it's taking a lot of time. It's taking a lot of time. Uh, just give me a second. See if I can do something to make this go fast a bit. Uh-huh. Let me try to run it on web. Let me try to run it on web so that we see it will take short time too, or it will take another longer time. I hope it takes a shorter time. Uh-huh. It's still taking some substantial amount of time. I literally didn't predict this. I will check my connection. Uh-huh. That's good. Um, okay, let's give it some time. I think I now have much less control on this. Okay, I'm seeing one question over here. How much HTML and CSS is enough before starting to use Flutter? Literally, I can say Flutter does not really depend on HTML and CSS. Flutter is just Flutter on its own. Every time you are running a Flutter application, you are able to compile it to when you are running. Let me say you created your application and you want it to run to web. What you just do, you just write a command to tell Flutter to run this application on the web. So literally, you don't need to use any HTML or any CSS for you to start Flutter. You don't need any prior knowledge of HTML or CSS to do a Flutter web application. So Flutter is just totally independent from that. Only that when you're running it in Flutter, it compiles that code to HTML, CSS, and JavaScript by itself, but you're not literally writing HTML and CSS. It's just going to compile it to the equivalent of the platform that you want it to be. Literally, I hope I've answered your question. That is Jackton Clarence. Mhm. Okay, I'm still waiting for it to launch. I don't know what is happening. Downloading service. Okay, good, good, good. Thank you. Maybe if we are still waiting for it to launch, anyone who has a question, maybe you may just pop it in so that I may be able to answer it as I'm waiting this application to finish building. Uh, it's taking time because of my internet. It's quite absurd. Uh, just allow me to switch my internet. Maybe I may go off so that at least we can do something. Uh, can do something. Oh boy. Okay. I think we may just give it time. Let's continue. Just continue sharing my screen. When it finishes, we will all see it. Share entire screen. So, as I was trying to explain, this is the main entry point of into a Flutter application. So now, whatever we are building a material app. We have, because we are talking about material design, we are talking about material app. Now from here, we are telling it to open our login screen. So let me just open it over here. I don't know if anyone needs to understand anything further from here. Uh, Maybe we just pop a question as we wait for this. Okay, so this is now a login screen. The way it looks like. So let me just collapse these, collapse these, collapse also these. Okay. Now, you remember in our previous presentation, I was talking about media query. So over here, you can see I'm trying to get the actual screen size, the actual screen height. This is because I need my login screen to adapt to any window size. So what I did is I'm telling it, okay, get me the size, the height of the screen over here, the height of the screen. So with this size method comes to, we have the height. With this size method, we have the height and also we have the width. You can do a getter of height and also a getter of width. So for me, I just needed the height. And now we are having a scaffold. This is like the mother of material design. So the scaffold gives us the ability of having an app bar. So you can add an app bar, you can have a body. For your application. So here we are just telling it I removed the app bar because there's a login screen literally. I didn't want it to have an app bar. So maybe let me just do like this. I do it twice. So that whatever I'm saying you can also see it. Okay, let me just use this one to launch my device. Okay, let me just add my device to the application. Oh, okay, good. Okay, I think our application just did run. So right now I'm running it on web rather than on my mobile device. Because on mobile device, I think it will have to download a lot of things compared to the web. So I just decided to toggle it to run on web rather than on mobile. But still the same thing. Uh, so let me just go here. Sign screen. Dismiss this. Okay. So this screen, we can see now we have this welcome. This is the welcome over here. That's good now. I think we can proceed. So here I'm running it on web. Let me just do like this. Now, hide. So this is how our application looks like, literally. So what I'm going to do, because it did just run, so I'm going to create another folder here. Let me just say design, so that we all go on and code along with it. So we say this is our main entry point, and in our main entry point, we must define the type of design we are going to use. So this is the material app. So inside here, I just want us to start this whole thing again. So I'm going to create in just say simple login screen dot that. Okay, so using my VS Code, we have these shortcuts for we say this. I need a stateful widget. You can just do like this, then it gives me a suggestion. So I need a stateful widget. I give it simple login screen that way over here. So this is our login screen. Literally, we want to start our journey. Let me do like this. I come here. Now I want to tell it not to launch from the normal login screen. Let me say, let's use this one. Simple login screen. So just remove this linking error. And we come here, we return a scaffold. Okay, so I think it may be good for me to run it side by side. So let me just do that so that you may be all seeing everything on our side. So we were talking about the hot reload feature of Flutter. So now here it is in play after I changed this. So automatically it went on reloading the whole application. Okay. So you can see now we are having a blank screen. So we said a scaffold widget is a stateless widget in Flutter that gives us the ability to use the app bar. So we may just give it an app bar. Let's see there. So with the app bar, we have the ability to have several methods. We can have the title. A title is of a type widget, so we just say just a simple text, whatever you're going to show, just say simple material design. Okay, that way. So with the hot reload feature, you must be able to see that thing over here, the app bar. Every time you save, it will automatically reload, and you can have a view of it, of the of whatever you have done on the screen. Uh, okay, just do simple material design. You can see. So these are now our app bar over here. Now we can proceed and say body. So now the scaffold comes with an app bar and a body, although it has other methods inside here. We have floating action button, we have all these, but these are the major ones that we are going to use. So we have now a column, the one that we described earlier, column, and we said a column carries children. Children is a list of widgets. We say we want to have elements, column arranges elements top down. That is one thing that you have to understand. Now we just have to tell it maybe main axis alignment. Let's not do that for now. Let's just go on and try to add some few things in here. So let's say we just want to add a simple text. We say welcome to our application. Now, these are text widget. A text widget has some styling. You can also do some styling on a text widget. So you just say text style this way. Then you can define the font size. You can define the font size. Let me say just want a font size of 18 maybe. And also maybe you say one of a color of our choice. Maybe you may say one that is, let me say maybe just a green color that way. So when we save, we expect to see this uh, welcome to our application, somewhere here in our screen, in the middle. Okay. Now, another good thing with Flutter is in Flutter we have also have components. Components, these are just things like me say we are going to be repeating ourselves. Let me say like the input field, instead of each and every time repeating yourself, you can just create a simple component, and that component or widget you can be reusing it throughout the application. So you see right now we are having welcome to our application by default on the rendered on the left. But now using the main axis or the cross axis alignment, so cross axis is from left to right. We just want to tell it now, we just want you to align our elements to the center. Everything inside this, we want it to be at the center of the screen. So if you do like that, it will literally move this welcome to application. It should move it to the center. Sorry, we just do it here. Main axis. Yes, that one. So it moves everything to the center. The main axis from up to down, it moves to the center. The axis, this one, I think the cross axis is misbehaving. Let me see. We just give it a padding. Okay, we give it a padding. A padding. Then we say tell it dot symmetric, horizontal. We say 12. So what we are trying to tell it, a padding is the space from the margin, the space from the component to the other component. That is the margin, the space from the margin. So I'm just telling it, I need you to ensure that every element that I'm adding inside this column should be that is horizontally from left to right, like 12, me say like for instance like 12 centimeters from the left. That's why we are seeing it has now moved our welcome to the it has moved it 12. It has left a space, the space of 12 centimeters or millimeters from the left to the screen inside, somewhere there. So you can add it, you can play with it around the way you want. But now let's go now to our the main thing that we wanted to achieve today. Today, we just wanted to achieve a simple logging screen. Let's see time. We are 3. I need to have finished by 3:20, somewhere there, 3:20, 3:30. So now let's proceed. So I just explained earlier now that a text comes with the styling text style, where you can define the type of the font, and also you can add on the weight of the font, literally. So you can say dot bold, or you can also say you can have a specific weight that you want. Maybe you don't want too much bold, you can just define it that way. So that's it. Now we are having a sized box. A sized box, now this is just a box. Literally, we are just trying to create a space from the upper part of, from the top part to the lower part of that object, literally over here. So just allow me to take this and take it in the other side of the screen, just so that we may go with it. Yeah. And also to change this to, so we'll do like this. I say final size equals to media query dot of context dot size. So with this size, now we can come and get the screen height. We can say this one dot height, this one dot height. Okay, if you are looking at my screen right now, you see we are having invalid constant value. So in Flutter, it always tries to ensure that its widgets do not always be rebuilding themselves. But because now we are using the size media query of it, the media query part of it, whereby we want it to adapt. So this error is being caused because we've told this widget that it should not like resize, it should not like adapt to anything, it should be constant as it is. But now inside it, I've used a media query that now is adaptive to any screen size. So a quick fix to this one, invalid constant value, you just come, you can realize I added by default when I applied the padding widget, Flutter automatically added this const to say that is a constant. So when you remove it, then you remove the error. Now you can, let me hot load my screen. Good. Maybe I should pull this. Okay, no problem. Let's just do it side by side. Maybe better. Good. Okay, so let's style this page a bit. Let's give it some styling. Let's try to align these elements. So let me remove this one. Because we added this one, we can say dot start. So that the main axis alignment may pull our element to the beginning of the screen. The top part. Yes. Okay. But because you are having an up bar, we are having some funny things here. So it will be good if you remove this up bar for now. It was just for demoing, showing that scaffold can have an up bar. And by default, if we look at if we look at the column, by default, the main axis element is on start, and the main axis we are having at max. So meaning if we are adding this one here, we are just also doing a waste because by default it's always on start. So you can also just as well remove it. But if you want to play with it around, you can still play with it around. Maybe we say we want to move these elements to the left. Just say cross axis alignment dot. Uh, we have center, start, end. So you just want to move it to the end. Now to the end of the screen. You can do like this just to show. We can move it. Okay. Let's see. Don't know why it's not updating these. Okay. Let's just proceed. Let's just proceed. Now I think our next thing to do, let me use this one as my, let me use this one as a guideline. Where is it? Let me use it as a guideline in our development process. Yeah. So we'll be viewing this screen as we proceed. Okay. So this is the way it looks like. Good. So let's try to make it go to the center. Let's try to make it go to the center. I don't know why this is not responding. Center. Also, main axis alignment, it press center. Okay, we just also the main axis alignment. So main axis alignment, just give it dot center. Just also have that thing. Now, our next part is we need to implement this input widget over here, input widget. Okay, so let's go on to that. Now, for an input widget, Flutter has something called text input field. So I created a component because I'm needing it to reuse it from time to time. So I don't want to be creating it every time. I don't want to be recreating it every time. So I just created a component over here. Let me just explain. So it is a stateless widget, obvious, but now the main functioning part of it is a text field. So literally what you can do, let me just come and get this. You can just do it directly here. So you need some size here. We just copy this. We need some space, I mean. So we just say text field, there. So when you do a save, when we save, you will see some text field over here. We started the application. Let's restart it. And give it some time. Okay, now you can see we are having now the text field over here. Now you can type anything. So this one is coming from this text field thing over here. But now you want to give it to make it this way. It is circular and you have that name here, and the error message should be appearing somewhere down here. So to do those configurations is when those configurations are literally the one that made me to come and create these these this component over here so that I may be able to use it. So it comes with text field comes with this decoration bit of it called input decoration. Just allow me to lift it to here. So it comes with this text decoration, decoration, not text decoration, but decoration. So we just need to comment this. We remove this constant over here. So this decoration, what literally does now is the one that will help us to create that circular. You can see I'm telling it I need it to have an outlined border. It has a radius of a circular radius, a circular margin of radius 12, literally. So this is what this line over here comes in handy. And I'm always telling it the label should be always floating up here, this one. So this is what we are seeing here, literally. Now the label text here, the label text, when you hover around it, you see it's a string. So this is what now we are telling it. We are naming our field. So I can say this is email. You can see because of this always floating, it will always be here. Let's see if we remove, we comment out this, how it will look like, just for demo. You see now it comes inside. But now what I wanted it to be, I just wanted it to be somewhere above there so that it may not obstruct the user while even putting the text. So just telling it always be up there. Now we are having this error text. This is when it will always be showing the error message. Now this one, email is invalid. So when we add it, it should be somewhere down here. Yeah, you see now the error text. So we don't want to trigger it for now. Let's comment it, just take you through. Okay, now the important bit with these text fields, now we have, it comes with something called a controller. So this controller is literally a text field controller. The thing that will be holding our text. So let's say text editing controller, just say, we call it email controller. So it is of type text editing controller, that way. Okay, so just come here and add it. So this email controller is the one that now will be holding anything that will be typing inside here. Anything that will be typing inside here, it will be the one that will be holding it. So to get anything that email text controller has, you just what you do, let me just do a simple print statement here. Just say print. Do like this. Oh boy, that one dot text. Then we do like this. We saved so that anything that will be printing, will be adding to this controller, will be typing here. We should be able to see it somewhere here on our terminal. Like right now, see you have nothing. So we need to do that. I hope you load. Oh, wait a minute. Why is it not printing? Okay, we just add this one. Let me just add a simple button down here, simple button, so that you will just see the print statement before we proceed. Let me just say inquire on top is a function in that we say child or say text say print. Add a comma here to another child. So let's do like that. So we just do this and I add in some text here, and when you print, now you can see everything that we are adding in here. This email controller is literally holding our text. Is literally holding our text. So let me just come here, space, that's some few random things. When you do this, you can see everything. Okay, so that's the first bit of it. Okay, another thing, it also comes with something called on change. These are listener that takes in the string, a nullable string type value. This is just the name of that string. Is a variable literally. So on change, you are telling it any change. It's like it listens to any change to this field here. It listens to any change. So also we can see on any change. Let's print that value. Let's print that value. So just do on change. Well, just do that. Let's say value that way. We save. Okay, I may remove this one as well. It's just to give us a basis understanding of what is happening here. Let it do this. Good. Now, if I come inside here, my text field, and I type anything, we should be able to see. You see, when I type S, we are seeing that value of S. So it is on change. Anything you are typing, it's literally captured. It's literally capturing it. So these are some of the main functionalities that comes with this text field that we can harness to ensure that we are having a very good responding and that is a good text input. So with that said, let me just type another thing here just to show. You see, so what it does is anything you're writing, it's like appending it. So say Maven Wechuli. That's it. I'm Maven Wechuli. You see, it's taking literally everything that I'm writing. So you can harness this ability to be able now to get whatever the user is typing. We can be able to validate it and we can able to save it. So for example, it also comes with another good thing. I don't know if this one text field, does it have a validator? Let me just try to see on change on submit. Okay. Okay, it does not have a validator. Good. So I think I've managed to give just a simple explanation of what this text field is and what literally it can do to us. So away with that, now let me come back here to my component. I do a final explanation of everything of it, then I can literally use it. So now I'm telling the text field because I'm going to be reusing it at different points. So I have to add these. These are the getters. So everywhere I'm calling this input field, I must pass a label. This is a label text, and also This is a nullable on change, on submitted. This is a nullable error text. So literally, I'm just taking all those values that I'll be needing them on the either screen and coming to add them here. So this autofocus here, the autofocus thing, help us to know, like you see here, my field is focused. So here I'm just trying to tell it whether this field should focus itself if nothing else is being already. So it is a boolean, it's either true or false. True or false meaning when someone launches this app, it already like focuses itself on the email so that the keyboard is already triggered, so the user just continues to type. I've already explained on change. On submit, this is a method that is called now when you are submitting it. Like when you are typing something on your screen and press enter on your keyboard, the enter bit. So that is on submit, it takes it. Then the keyboard type here, this one helps us to know for example, someone is entering a phone number. We don't want him to enter text. So we use the keyboard thing. Let me just show you some of the types that you're having, the keyboard types. So you can just say you want a numeric dot. You see, you can have date, you can have phone number, name. So it's just basically a text. So when you say it's phone, now we have only those. It now provisions when this field is focused. It now provisions now that keypad of numbers and plus sign specifically for phone. And number is just the numbers. Name is just the name as it is. So it like launches everything. The QWERTY keyboard, I mean. So let me just revert it. Text input action. So the text input action is just like we can have it on a new line. We can have it a multi-line. Like we can tell it this screen, like we just need it to be a one-liner, not a two-liner. Get it? Obscure text is when you want to hide, like the one for password, you want it to show asterisks rather than the actual word. So that is what this obscure text means. So with that said, allow me just to take this one and come here. Instead of having a text field, now I'm just going to paste this input field component for me here. Input field, I do like this. Then I come and import it. I import it. Let me just do like this so that good. So we do a save, we see. Let me just come here. I take these configurations that I had already initially added here, just flip them to here. So that we don't consume a lot of time typing everything. I'm sorry, my machine is a bit slow. Just take this. We come here. Then what we do, we come and get our variables. These ones. Come get our variables and add them here. So we can do also password controller. Good. Then this is a stateful widget, but we are having a const, so it won't work until we remove this constant value. So with that, we have our email input literally. So what I can do now is just come and copy paste this one down. Then we come here, we add this comma to show it's a continuation. Then here we have that, the input field. Now this one should be password. These are our string type, password. Good password. So we say this is password, and we say this is password error. So this password error, these are just fields. We've defined them up here. These ones, these are variables. They are variable fields. So two ways of saving our anything that a user is added, anything that user is adding here. We can either use a controller or we can use the onChange method over here, onChange. So you can either use this onChange. Now we're having another thing coming in, this set state. Set state, we are having this one is a stateful widget, so it's dynamic, it is changing, it is always changing. So when you are using this set state command over here, we are literally telling it everything that is this variable password should have everything that is from this value on change. So everything that user is entering, you should set it to this password and update our screen. That is. So every time anyone is typing 123, we are literally updating the whole. We are literally updating that variable, and the whole screen is refreshing so that to get that value. So let's just do a hot reload and we can obviously see right now. So because we are doing this on change over here, anything that we are typing here, it's being validated. It's literally being validated. And so we can say literally, you can say, let's come here and do a simple type and you see, good. You see, okay, this is our password. So we said if you want to hide our password, we use obscure. So we just call that obscure text is a boolean, we give it to true, then it will literally hide our password. Okay, we just save one time. I'll take this and bring it here. Just take this one. So when we do like this, everything will be covered. So obscure text in action. Let's just add this action here. Let's say dot next. It's already there, so I think it's fine. So on submit, it moves it to the next part. So now I think we are done with those two screens. Now we want to do some validation. Okay, let's do some validation. Let's add some validation. Just come here and I take these. Literally take all of these. Then I'll explain. I'll explain everything inside there, so just don't worry. Boy, yes. Okay, now every stateful widget has a method called initState. So this initState, as it is, it's telling you the initial state. Before this widget is rendered, what do you want to do before this widget is rendered? You see, so it's overriding the initState. So before the widget is rendered, I'm telling it the email should be null, this one, and the password should be set to empty. This means empty, like literally I'm setting it to null. Also, the error must be null and the password must be null. Okay, so also here I'm telling it, I'm creating another function to reset the error text. Literally, like you are typing and there is an error, so this is just a method for me to reset. You'll see when I'm literally added it. So Here we want to validate our email literally. We just want no, like you can see right now, anyone can type anything, which is not an email. So Flutter also allows us to use regex. You can see these the email regex. These regex, you don't need to cram it. You can get it anywhere on the internet. We have all these rejects there, so you can get these regex from there. So literally that's it. We are just creating this a value. We are saying, is it valid? By default, it's valid. But now we are checking if that email, now this email, this one, it is not empty, meaning it's literally. So we are here at this stage. We said on change, on every event that is added is being recorded on this change. So here, when you'll be typing, I'll be checking if it is empty and if it has a match. If it has a match of and these regex. So I'm checking if anything you are typing has a match of email regex or is empty. So if it does not have a merge, so this is what it means. This is the not sign in that. So what I'm saying is, if it does not have a match, then we should return to the user. We should set now the state of the error message to be email is invalid. So literally, you're just trying to tell it that when anyone is entering anything, we are trying to validate and ensure that that email is valid. So I told you earlier that set state what does, it literally refreshes the whole screen and sets this email variable this value and ensures that the whole screen displays this email value. If we don't use set state, then the screen will not refresh or will not update. So this the same happens to this password over here. And what we are just doing is just returning if it's valid or if it's not valid. So that's it. That's it to that point. Let's go to the next thing. I think when we finish that, we'll be on the higher side of everything with the basic UI for Flutter. So the next thing that we are going to do, we need to have a button. We need to have a button. Literally, we need to have a button for. We need to have a button to be able to log in. Literally, we are assuming we are logging into a screen, so we need to have a button. So that's the next thing we are going to do. But before we do that, just allow me to increase this space between these. We just increase this space. Just so let me give it something like here. I just say we have a space of 2. And also here we have a space of 2. I'm just trying to increase the space between these elements, between my email and my password. Let's do that and see the way it looks like. Yes, I think 2 is quite good. Maybe let say 2.5 and here 5. You see the way it is. Just give it some good spacing. And again, I will need to get these. Put it somewhere here so that our next element also adapts to the same size. Good. Now that's it. I think we are good to go. Now we have to create a button. Now also, as I told you earlier now, a button is something that you'll be using it frequently at different screens. So to that reason, we also need to create a component of a button that we'll be using. We can reuse it anywhere else in our application. So I created this basic, I think I can dismiss this. Okay. Let me see my screen. Good. I think it rejected. No, it did not. Oh, good. Yeah. Okay. So what we are going to create is this login button we are seeing here, over here. But before we go there, let's also add this forgot password. Let's just add it before we proceed. So before we forget it. So Flutter comes with a widget called Align. So Align, what it does is like just the way the widget name suggests, it aligns that widget. So to align it, you just call this alignment, then you say alignment dot. Where do you want to align it? To left. You see, you have bottom left, bottom center, top left, top. You see all these. So we want to align it center left. So what are we aligning? It is a child. We are aligning a child widget of type text, and that text is sorry about that. And that text is what are we having? Forgot password. Forgot password. That way. Uh, Forgot password. So let's wait. We see it refreshing. Meanwhile, let me come here and do this again so that you may update. Yes. Mhm. So we told it center left. That's where you're seeing it. It's on the center left. But now we want it to be on center right. That's what you want it to be, on the center right. Now it goes on the right. Now we can add some styling here. You can just say style, style, text, style. We say font. You cannot. Let's just change the font weight. Font weight. Just say font weight. Let's give it somewhere there 600, so that it may be bolder. Then what I also need is I need this space. I need this space between my widget, this element, widget element, the other. Good. So we give it that one. Now, okay, now we go to our next thing, the last thing of it, a button. We are going to do a button. So this button, this one, this one. Sorry. This one, this button over here. This is what you're going to do to do the right thing. So I said earlier I created an element called button over here. So is of type element button, elevated button. So Flutter has different types of buttons. So you can use the one that suits you. We have elevated button, we have icon button, we have icon button, that one. We have text button. So icon button takes of type icon, text button takes of type text. We have this elevated button. Elevated, the one, it means it's above, like it's like on the screen. So for this elevated button, it comes with this on pressed event. So let me just take it and bring it to this simple screen. We look at it, I explain, then we can uh, proceed. Okay, so let me just do like this. We start from scratch with it. We just comment it. Let's take this button. Okay. So for elevated button, the reason why I'm using elevated button, Okay, let me just explain what you are seeing to on our screen right now before I explain the rest. Let me go ahead of myself. So this elevated button has on pressed. So on pressed, this is now the event of pressing a button. Is like a listener. Then you have this child. The child now is that element. So I wanted to say the reason why I used elevated button because it now gives me the ability of like recreating this button in any way that I want. For example, you can see icon button. Icon button is only specifically for a child of icon. You cannot add any other child apart from a child of icon. Same as text button. But with this elevated button, it gives now ability. We can now add either icon, text, anything that we want literally. You can even add a video or anything, a picture to that button if you want it to be. So now this now the child element. So we can just say something simple like let me just add a simple text and say like login. Just a simple text just to show you. You see the way to like literally to look like. Uh, boy, oh boy, our time is out. Okay, but I think I've finished. I think when we are done with this button, the rest of the elements I've quite described and explained them earlier, so I'll just fast forward everything. Now you can see now we are having this button over here. We said it's an elevated. You see it having that card like elevated thing up there. Let's see what it comes with. It comes with button style, so you can style this button. It comes with on hover, like when someone is hovering over this button, what do you want it to show? Kind of that on hover. We having on focus change, all those things. There are things that you can explore or at your time. But for now, let me just do this. I take this. I come here and we do like this. Let's do size dot height. Okay, we close it. So that's it. That's it. We are having our button up. So let's try to demo some on pressed events. Let me say print. Let's say button pressed. Oh boy. Mm, okay, good. So let me just expand this and we do okay. I don't understand why it's not printing anything by the terminal. Let's try to refresh it again. Let's try to refresh it again. We see why it's not printing. Uh, yeah, you can see button pressed, button pressed. That is. So literally, this is what you are going to utilize all through. So just come here. I take my simple button, my form button here, my component that I already created earlier, and I just come here and replace it with this one. Oh, oh, okay, we just do like this. Then we import. import. Good. Uh, let's see. Let's see what I added down here. Let's see what I added. Just added a text and this submit. Let me just take these two. Okay, our application just exceeded. Let me run it again. Let me run it on web again, not on my device. Let me stop this. We run it here. So now we are having our login button at this one. We added this one. Now we need to add this one, the last element. So this one is just this one is a text button. So you can just use a text button because we are having this event of pressing over here. So that's what we are going to do next. We just add this one and also add an event to this one, forget password. When a user forgets password, we need to redirect him maybe to a screen. So we just add an on pressed event on this button and also this sign up over here. So that's what I'm going to do here next. Let me just come and get it from here. I think they're all the same thing. We've already explained them earlier. Maybe maybe if there's any place that you've not understood, maybe you can just also share so that we may if you have any question, just feel free to ask so that we may save on time. Let me just take this text button and this space here. Let's take them and I add them here. And then we explain. Which is say size dot height. Good. Then we import this one. We import this one. Good. Perfect. Now, so I told you earlier a text button. It takes type text. If you come here, you're looking at it requires a widget of type child. So this child we're giving it of rich text. Okay, rich text is a type of a text widget whereby we are having it gives you the ability of styling a text, a one-liner text that is. So rich text. It takes that is children a list of texts, a list of children that can be styled independently. You can see, like, literally, let me get this one up here. You can see, like, this text that we did here. When we applied this styling of this color, black, and the font size, it applies to this whole text. But now with rich text, it gives you ability, like now, is a one-liner text, but now you can style it the way you want. Like for example, this one, I'm a new user. You can just add this text style. So this text style applies to this text, you see, of color black. Now I'm adding another text on the same line, but now I want it to be of color blue and of bold. You see, color, you can just choose any color, but it should adhere to the uh, to the principals, so you can get it literally that way. So this is the main thing about rich text. Now going back to this text button, it also comes with this on pressed event. So to navigate to another page in Flutter, we use navigator.push. Navigator.push. So we have navigator.push. We have we have navigator.push. We have navigator.pop. So navigator now is like just the same thing. Navigate is just like a car. You're saying car reverse, car front, and you see go forward. So it's just the same thing, navigator. So it comes with this push. We have push named, other methods that comes with it. So we are just telling it push from this current screen to this simple register screen. Literally, that's all. So it takes this material page route. So material page route, it holds all the routes of our application. Literally, we started from logging in. So in the material page route memory, it is holding that route that we were in logging in screen. Now we are telling it, now just change from the current context, from the current route. Now go to this next screen, the simple route. So that is a basic explanation of it. So let's just run it. Let's see. We don't have any other question. Okay. Let's run it. Maybe we finish. The reason why I'm taking time to explain is because I was informed that a majority of us are needing to learn it. So that's the reason why I decided to have a small coding session for whatever we are talking about, and also just to get you guys know more about Flutter, and maybe you can also get motivated and jump in uh, days to come. I think that is all. Let's just wait for that. So that's the reason why I'm literally taking some good time explaining some few things. Maybe some of you may be already knowing them. I'm sorry about that, but for those who don't know about them, I think it's good to let everyone to be at par with the way things are for all of us. Okay, give it some time again. I'll just give it some time. Some time. So I'm not going to explain much on the register screen. It's literally the same thing. I think this may be a challenge or an assignment for you on the other end because I'm just using the same thing. So you may also go sit down and try to play around with it. I'm just using my custom input field that I've already explained. I'm just using my form button, this one that I already explained. I'm also just using the text button, the one that I already explained. So I think I've talked much about it and already explained majority of the overview of everything. So I think it will be good now for you also to take some time and go and also practice uh, on different things if you are that much interested into. So I'm not going to explain much on the register screen. Um, Good. Now let's just switch to web mobile view. I'm just trying to mimic a phone. I don't know. We're using this one. Okay. Okay, I think that's good. Now you can see how screen looks like. These are logging in button and these are sign up. So I explained earlier here. We pull this extremely here. Okay. So you see what I was saying down here. I'm a new user. You see, it is a one-liner, but I've been able to give it different styling depending on this by using this rich text widget. Rich text state stateless widget, this one. So I've been able to do this, uh, have this one black and have this one green. So now, as I was explaining here, for me to navigate to that sign up screen, I've added these on the text button. I'm giving it an event of on push. So on push, you are going to navigate to this simple registration screen that I already created here. So if you just come here and click here, it's going to take you to this new screen. You see the new screen here. You can navigate back. So the main thing about this, let me just explain here. I told you this material page route now keeps all those routes, the screens that you've been on previously on your application. That's the reason why when I press here, login, continue, it now remembers that my previous screen was logging in, so that when I go back, it takes me back there. You get? So that's the reason why I'm using that's that's a functionality based on this line of code over here. I think much has been said from my side. So let me see these validations. So on logging in, we are calling this function on submit. On submit, we are calling our validator that I explained earlier. So first of all, it resets those the error messages. Then it now checks if all those fields have the set parameters, passes all the set parameters, that is, then it can validate. So we can do like this. You see, it has not matched. So you can just say at gmail.com. When we do again, you see this one will be because we've done the rejects for email. So it's merging these rejects here, these rejects for email. For password, you can add anything that you want. You may say the length is 5 or 2. You can all do them over here. So let me just add for you a simple thing for us to be. Let me say home screen, home, home.dat. Just add this. Therefore, I just say home screen, and I give it a center, and I give it a text, child of text. I say home screen that way. So that when our screen is valid, we just say navigator dot push. What is the route? We are taking material page route. Builder context, not using it. We want to return home screen. Then you terminate, and we import this. As simple as that. But that's good. So that when our screen is valid, you can now navigate this user to the next page. We are past with 4 minutes. We are past with 4 minutes. I think we are done. We are past with 4 minutes. Oh boy. Okay. So let's just do m@gmail.com. Then we say 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll be on login. So we are having home screen there. That's good. So we can go to the sign up screen. The same thing. We just come, we reuse the small components that we literally had over here, and we'll be done. So just want to say thank you guys for all those who tuned in to our today's event. Um, I've taken more minutes, but I think it has been a session that has been beneficial to you. I don't see any question. Okay, we have just one. Which process of learning was is more productive for YouTube videos, projects, or documentation? Okay, so this one literally depends on you as a person, on you as a person. For example, for me, I usually learn more when I do practical, literally practical. So it means I get myself a small project. But prior to everything, I go get let me say I want to learn about, let me say, a button, literally. So I need to have to know a button. So the best thing to know more about a button, I search for a YouTube video about a button. Then when I'll be watching that video, now I can have now go look under documentation. It will be now more easier for you to know what you're going to read on or which documentation to get on. But for me to grow more, literally, I use projects. I give myself a small project to work on. Yeah, that's it. So for learning resources, majorly, I'll suggest you use the Traverse Media. I didn't prepare any book. There's this book, Flutter Clean Architecture. Um, then there is another one. I don't remember the name. Okay. I didn't prepare any resource, but for YouTube, probably I prefer using the Traverse Media. It gives good explanation about the Flutter thing. Then for a book, I read about the Flutter Clean Architecture. I can't remember the author. Maybe I'll just check while you're winding up. And yes, I can share it on that chat. So I think that is all for me. If we don't have any other question, we can call it an end and take it back to our moderator. Yeah. Hello.
Hello, hi.
Yes, yes. Back to you.
Your good session. Um, it was really very engaging. I was following through, and thank you for the resources that you shared with us. Um, I can see I have heard you have answered all the questions. So I think we can end our session here. Thank you for preparing, for giving us your time, and for being able to come and share with the community. The session is live, so you guys can rewatch it. You can share with anyone who you might feel would have benefited from it, or will benefit from it still. We know, some of you were in the office while this was happening. So just feel free to rewatch and to go and connect with Marvin. So his LinkedIn, like I mentioned earlier, is in the chat section or in the description of this video. So go ahead and follow him, connect with him, and follow what he's doing and also just engage. Um, yes, Maven. So thank you so much for the time. We are going also to continue just sharing feedback. If you can also push the code and send us and share the slides with us so that we just share in the socials and all that, even as we share the video. So thank you. Have a nice evening, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you too.
Thank you.